right then. So what you're gonna see here is the woman which was arrested and held arrested and tried to charge for a post she put on Twitter for apparently spreading misinformation. Well, she's finally been allowed to speak out and have her side. Now, everything she says, if you disagree with, well, tough titty, I agree with everything she says completely. She has been slandered by the news. She's been harassed by haters and people what disagree with what she says or said. And what justice has she got, really? She's been incriminated on national TV, even though she was found to not have done anything wrong. Yes, she had NFA'd, no further action. Why? Because she didn't commit an offence, but yet they splashed her all over every single newspaper they could, all over the news as they could, and slandered her name, slandered her reputation to silence the majority, because if they can make you scared to say something, then they win. But this one is just going to be, I'm not going to interrupt this at all. I'm going to allow her to say what she's got to say, because it is spot on. Everything she's saying, in my opinion, is absolutely spot on. Now, if you don't agree with what she's saying, well, just listen to what she's saying and let it resonate. Close your eyes and just listen to the words that are coming out of her mouth. Don't imagine it's there, just listen to what she is saying. Because the words what she is speaking is truth, regardless if you like it or not. So let's just listen to what she's got to say.
My name is Bernadette Spoffworth. Most of you just know me as Bernie. Firstly, thank you for all of your messages, and I'm so sorry I haven't responded or replied to any of you, but I couldn't. I would have been locked up in a cell again for breaching bail conditions if I had. But I want to let you know, though, that on the 5th of September, the police issued what's called an NFA, and that means no further action and no charges, because I hadn't done anything illegal. My supposed crime, according to many journalists and social media activists, was a post on X that they incorrectly claimed I had made up, and which they decided was the cause of the riots in Southport and all across the country. In reality, though, I had just copied and pasted a name and a sentence from another post on X, and unusually for me, I didn't check the source, but I added the line, "If this is true, there will be hell to pay." And what followed from that deleted post was a concerted effort on social media to try and have me arrested and sent to prison by those who don't agree with me. Now, what I've experienced over the last few weeks that I'd like to tell you about is nothing in comparison to the suffering of those families in Southport, and I am not comparing the two. But I am just an ordinary person, and I think you should know how ordinary people have been treated. So on the 8th of August, the police turned up, mob-handed, 5 of them, 3 police cars and a prison van, and instead of a simple voluntary interview, they searched me, arrested me, and held me for 36 hours in a concrete cell with a concrete bed, like a terrorist. They held me even though I told them that the evidence they needed had already been found by data experts. I explained my post was political, as almost all of my posts are, and my post was aimed at the government and its failing policies. I had not and would not make something up. But perhaps the authorities and the activists didn't actually care about the truth. They just wanted me punished as an example to you. Finally, I was released on bail. There really was nothing to take to magistrates and nothing to charge me with, but it didn't end there. Because my bail conditions included that I couldn't engage on social media, they didn't want me to speak to you about anything at all. Which meant I couldn't tell you of the damage done to me by those reporters and activists, and that it had been so complete I couldn't leave my house. That reporters were lying in wait for me in my garden, and that every day I had hate mail. I had nothing to gain from making something like that up, but others did gain. Journalists gained their clicks, my detractors gained my silence, and the authorities gained the silencing of you because so many of you were afraid to speak. I had expressed my own views on the state of the country and its failure to protect innocent citizens, and that is still legal. But it's very clear that a vocal part of our society wants the opinions of ordinary people like you and like me suppressed. They say they support free speech, but they mean only the speech they agree with. They say they support dialogue, but only the dialogue that agrees with their worldview. And they say they want equality, but they don't mean for people who think differently to them. Now, I deleted that post because I found out it was incorrect. Keir Starmer said just a few years ago that if people make social media posts in error and then delete them, that should be the end of the matter. But it seems that's no longer the case. It seems like it's been decided it's better to stop questioning. It's easier to ban dissent, and that way you can stop the public spreading unapproved news amongst ourselves. And many people still believe that if they allow the government to micromanage their lives and be their single source of truth, then things will be okay. Until one day they don't agree with their government and they find it isn't okay because they can't speak of it. Without free speech, there is no democracy. And without democracy, there really is only tyranny. And to be treated as a criminal when you know you are innocent by the authorities, journalists and activists is terrifying and reputationally devastating. The process is the punishment, and it will silence millions. And when we are silent, that is the end of our free speech. So to those who celebrated my arrest, don't enjoy it too much, because it could easily happen to you. And the difference between us is that I would fight for you. And for all those who stood up for me and did fight for me, thank you. You held my line, even as I couldn't. Thank you.
Okay then, so like she said, you might not agree. She might not agree with what you say, but she will fight for you for the right to say it. What am I always saying? I don't care what your opinion is. I will fight for your right to say your opinion and have your speech. Now, like she also said, you might not do the same for her or me, but I sure as hell will do the same for you. I might not agree with your opinions and stuff like that, but I will make sure that you have the right to say that, and I will fight tooth and nail for you to say that. Now, this is the state of the state we are in because of the government we've got, which is making it illegal for you to have an opinion and your speech. Now, some of the laws is already there, like the the Online Safety Act, which made it illegal to spread misinformation, but also makes a group of people exempt. Journalists. Now, journalists are exempt from spreading misinformation online or in the papers. Or on your TVs, they're exempt from doing that. But they're the ones which control the narrative of what is said. Not only are they there to control the narrative, they're the ones which is on your TV. Exposure to a lot more. So there's other news channels out there which are not on TV and impartial. So go out and watch some of them. There is apps you can actually get which would also tell you if they're left-wing media, right-wing media, and what percentage of their stuff is blah blah blah. If you want to go and find that, there is that out there as well. I'm not going to promote any of them because I'm not sponsored by them, so why would I? But like I said, what I've said at the beginning and what I've said now is my opinion, and I don't care if you don't like it. Everything she said in this video is completely right, and I agree with everything she says. But let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this interaction. As always, like the video, it does open YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.